We're back on the dirt, which means anyone can win.
This race promises to be one of the most exciting, intense races of the year.
4 wide as they go down the backstretch for position.
There's action all over the place. This is an amazing race.
These guys are going to hit the wall 10, 15 times this race.
It's a heck of a day at sea, sir. Everything starts going crazy.
Side by side, the fans are on their feet.
Just keep boiling up. And before the night's over, it's going to boil over. This is amazing. Oh!
Into the wall hard again.
You can see that passion. You can see that desire.
Has put on a clinic.
Holy cow!
Salisbury, North Carolina, site of tonight's race at the Millbridge Speedway, but this time a very special racetrack, the SKE Speedway, the short track inside Millbridge Speedway. Tonight it's the Coyote Motorsports 30 and 40 for the DNQ Dirt Series and the DNQ Busch Series. Welcome back once again to the DNQ Dirt Series. As always, I'm Bob Duato here with my partner Alan Besselik. And Alan, we have waited a very long time for this racetrack to get done. It's supposed to race on it in January. It's finally done. It's time to race on.
God, I've been waiting for this racetrack to mature for half a year, Bob. I'm ready to pop this cherry.
Let's go ahead and pop it. An exciting race tonight, a really short track. I mean, the big track is a 1/6 of a mile. This has got to be at least a 9th or a 10th of a mile racetrack out there.
Yeah, probably a 69th of a mile. But these guys are going to be in the gas. They're going to be bumping and banging, rubbing doors. There's going to be people spinning out, people shit canning other people. This is going to be a fantastic race. I'm excited for the short track, Bob.
Well, it's definitely going to make for an exciting race for sure. And to make things even more exciting, Derek's down with a racer that hasn't been with us in a very long time. Derek?
Well, Ryan Flores is one of the regulars of the DNQ karting series. He's been taking a couple of weeks off because of his NASCAR responsibilities. Great to have you back. Looks like a new ride. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's great to be here. My buddy Kenny Rodinger, he's another NASCAR guy. He's the car chief on the 95 car. He had this Nemesis laying around. Rainier Racing, we sold our karts, but we still had the motor. So pretty excited to see this Millbridge short track. Reminds me of what I would call my home track down here, the Field for their Fairgrounds, just on dirt. So we'll see what we can do.
You've had a lot of success at the Field Filler Fairgrounds. Small, tight little facility, but that's asphalt. This is dirt. What can we expect from tonight's racing?
I think it's going to tighten the field up. You see a lot of the DNQ races end up like cup races. Now they get strung out and the guy with clean air wins. But I think this will tighten the field up. It'll take the advantage away from some of the guys with the newer go-karts. And I think drivers going to have to play more of a part in it. I'm excited about it.
Well, tonight at the Millbridge Speedway, they're running on the small track, not the big track. So horsepower isn't that big of a factor. Handling is going to be it.
Always good to see Skip Flores in the DNQ Dirt Series. Glad to have him back. We've definitely been missing somebody like him.
Yeah, I'm glad to have at least one bad boy in this field because as of last race, Daniel Ridenhour, who got tossed out, this is his race to sit home. And we're also missing another heavy hitter, Corey Ingleston.
Yeah, sponsorship woes have hurt Corey Ingleston big time. He definitely needs a sponsorship. If anybody's out there listening that wants to sponsor somebody, was in the championship hunt, and that really hurts him to miss this race.
Yeah, he's basically out of it now because the points chase is so tight that you have to finish top 1, 2, 3 if you're going to have a chance to be the big guys like Timmy Nye, like Brad Buskirk, like Dan Ridenhour. And with both of them missing, it might be a two-man race now.
As we look at some of the practice right here over our shoulders here at the from the Hollywood Hotel, I cannot wait. This racetrack promises to be probably one of the most entertaining racetracks we have seen this year.
What I really like about it, you can see every single car on this track. You can see the whole track at once. You're never missing any action, and it's hard to pass here, Bob. There's going to be some excitement.
Well, one driver that is brand new to the series starting this race, we did change the age rule to allow 16-year-olds into the series, and Tony Stevens is down with one very special new driver to the series. Tony?
The DNQ karting series attracts some of the best at the discipline in this region. Caitlin Binge is no exception. Caitlin, you won some big money races around this region. Have you ever run a race like a DNQ karting event?
No, this is my first time running the DNQ series because they just changed the age limit to where I could run. So no, I ain't never won a race like this.
What are you expecting? Do you have any idea? You've been on the racetrack for practice, but other than that, do you have any clue what you're up against?
No, not really. Well, so far when I've been out there, that little track's hard to drive on, and we just got to get the cart good enough to where I can stay in the gas all the way around so I can keep the momentum up.
What does make this racetrack hard? Is it the size? Is it the physical aspect? Is it the setup? Is it a combination of things? What is it?
Pretty much everything. You got to have the go-kart just right and the tires just right, and it's so small that it's hard to drive.
Well, Caitlin Binge is going to try to bank on some of her experience tonight and hopefully get the kart right too, and maybe she can pick up an upset here in the DNQ karting series.
So we'll see if Caitlin is able to hold her own tonight. A 16-year-old female. She has won a lot in AKRA, but this is the DNQ series. What do you think she's up for tonight?
She's also won Miss Gastonia, but I don't know if the boys are going to play as nice with her as she's hoping.
Well, we hope for a good run for her as we see the Peasant Series heat races happened earlier today. Here's some footage from them. Let's go through that real quick. Well, in heat race number 1, Richie Stone was on the pole for the Peasant Series race, and we already have people jumping left rears right off the top.
They're driving over each other. And they're hitting the wall on the backstretch by himself, racing for last. What the hell are these guys doing?
Dirty Dabs took home the win on that. And heat race number 2, his teammate Andy Hunter started on the pole for this race, and it was pretty much an Andy Hunter show.
Yeah, he was strong in the race before, but he's a cheating son of a bitch, so if he's legal for this race, it looks like he's going to take the win.
Well, Dabs and Hunter won the races. Tony's down with them right now.
It was a team affair in the DNQ Busch Series. You had Dirty Dabs and Andy Hunter both taking heat race wins. And how dirty was it out there, Mr. Dabs?
Well, it was fun to say the least. I was pushing a little bit coming out of 2. I think old Leadfoot Nunley over there had something for me, but I think we got her fixed up for the main. It's going to be a heck of a show, so y'all stay tuned.
How hard is it with these karts to be able to pass, to be able to get track position? Because we've seen with the other karts, the Cup Series, they've got some power to kind of pull out of a slide and kind of make up for the driver. What's it like in one of these?
If you lose your momentum, you're done. You're going backwards. That's really the biggest thing is keeping your momentum up. Just like you said, we don't have the power that those other motors have, so as soon as you bog it down, you better be on your P's and Q's getting ready for some people coming by you.
And how rough that's going to be is going to be one thing we keep an eye on. Andy, you're going to start in the front row alongside your teammate. What do you guys expect in turn 1?
I expect to beat him in turn 1 and then him follow me the rest of the way. That's what I expect. But I don't know. We got some fast ones. Derek Nunley's pretty fast. I know last week he was talking about pit lizards. He's never had one, so I don't know how he even picks them up because, he's ugly. Look at him. Look at him over there. He's the ugliest guy on the track. But we're going to try to keep outrunning him. That's what we're going to try to do. It wasn't the gear. It was the driver last week.
So you're worried about not anything about the race cart, but you're worried simply about looks. Usually we've always been taught that looks don't go fast. It's all about substance. So are you saying you either picked up looks or substance in the last couple weeks?
Well, my cart looks better than his. It's beat him 2 weeks, and I look better than him, and I beat him 2 weeks. So maybe he'll catch up one day. He's still learning.
They're trying to chase these guys, and I don't know where they're chasing them to or what they're chasing, but they're chasing something here at SKE Speedway at Millbridge tonight.
Well, in the Cup Series heat race number 1, saw Matt Holzbauer on the pole, but would not last for long. Ryan Flores gave him a run for his money.
Yeah, 2 Northeast guys going at it right there. A little bit of Wall Stadium in New Egypt experience up at the front.
Caution was out real quick for Nathan Briggs taking a loop there into 1. But as the race went on, it was Flores and Holzbauer.
Getting dirty in the heat races. I would expect this to be a good feature if they get near each other.
Last lap went to Flores. And then heat race number 2, Mike Too Tall Medill started on the pole with Matt Custer on his outside.
Yeah, 2 heavy hitters, Timmy Nye and Brad Buskirk starting in the back, and they get to the front in a hurry. Here we go, side by side, Too Tall Medill going to the back and quick.
As this race went on, Brad Poteet went for a spin, and another very rare occurrence we saw was Matt Custer ripped the nose off his cart.
Ooh, yeah, that was 4-wheel air there by L.J. McCreary over Matt Custer.
As it went on, Tim Nye went on for the win, but Tony and Derek are down with our heat race winners.
Matt Holzbauer picked up one of the heat race wins in the Cup Series for the DNQ Karting Series. And Matt, it looks like you're working on tires right now. How important are these things going to be tonight?
Really important tonight because just turning is big. Whoever's going to turn the best is going to win, there's no doubt. Still need a little bit of gear in the motor to go, but I really think it's turning. Whoever's turning is winning.
Is it a matter of turning all through the corner, entry most important, exit? Where is it you really want to focus on getting this kart to turn and to work for you?
Really the whole corner. I was having to pitch it in to turn it, almost like sprint car racing it, which is just killing your speed. So I'm working on the tires now, trying to get them to grab a little bit more in the front to point it and turn.
Is it more a matter of who can be on the bottom, get that car turning more so than speed? Is that the primary thing you need to worry about here tonight?
Yeah, because if you're turning, you're going to be fast because you'll carry the speed through the corner, whereas everybody else is going to be braking to turn and then have to try and gain back on you on the short straightaway.
Well, that is Matt Holzbauer trying to, well, maybe keep his secrets close to his chest, but I think he just gave them all away, and now we know what to look for out of the orange number 9.
Well, Tim Nye just comes from his heat race, walks up to us, but the crew is going to work on the kart right now. You look like one of the fastest karts out there. How is your ride?
Yeah, I think after my earlier interview, I can answer a lot more questions about that track. I just love it. So we really seem to really do good right out of the trailer and made a few minor adjustments, and I think we pretty much have them covered. It's just you never know what will happen, though, in a race. So I know Brad's really quick, and Flores looked pretty good at Holzbauer, so we'll see what happens, and hopefully we can hold on to something and grab another win.
How worried are you tonight about somebody using the bumper to move you out of the way?
I'm a little bit, but those guys run pretty clean, but if it's for a win, I don't expect anything different, that little track especially. But I think it's a track where even if they did use a bumper, if you could hang on to it, you can come right back and maybe even pull off the pass still, as long as you don't get totally spun. So, you know, you can make up a lot of time pretty quick, being that it's only a 4-second lap time. So.
Well, Tim Nye, a little bit of foreshadowing. We may see some bumping and banging, and, of course, the bump and run here tonight.
Well, thanks, Derek. We're going to see a lot of bumping and banging coming up next. It's the DNQ Busch Series feature race.
He's out there. There's a guy out there who's making his own run at glory, making a name for himself in a sport where your name and maybe a number are what define you. Maybe they're in the back of the pack. Maybe they're stalking the leader down the home stretch, waiting to pounce, waiting to make that first move toward becoming a legend. Make no mistake about it, they're out there. I guarantee it. Welcome.
DNQ Dirt Series brought to you by Coyote Motorsports. Visit coyotekarts.com for all your go-kart and racing chassis needs. Coyote Motorsports builds some of the best go-kart, dirt, and asphalt chassis. Welcome back to Salisbury. SKE Speedway promising already, and we've seen some very exciting heat races with Tim Nye, no surprise, winning his heat race, and Ryan Flores won, but apparently was a little bit too light going over the scales.
Yeah, well, you know, Bob, you get a 5-pound allowance in DNQ, so he was 6 pounds light. I don't know what kind of schooling they teach in New Jersey, but he couldn't add up to 390 pounds. So he's going to start from the back, and Brian Holzbauer, another Northeast guy, is going to start up front.
Yeah, Holzbauer, a good driver, getting his chance to start up front. But I don't think it's going to be that hard of a task for Flores to get up to the front. He's done it before at Field Fillers. I don't think it's going to be that hard for him to get up here in SKE.
You know, Field Fillers is a lot like SKE, but he's got a lot of experience at Wall Stadium, and we know those New Jersey drivers. They can get through a field if they've got to.
Yeah, we've seen some races at Wall Stadium. But speaking about the track, let's send it down to Derek and Tony, who's going to tell us a little bit about the special quirks about this racetrack. Derek?
On the same night that NASCAR runs their only race on dirt at the Eldora Speedway, so does the DNQ Karting Series here at the SKE Speedway at Millbridge. Sure, the DNQ Karting Series has run here before in the past, but that's been on the big 1/6 mile at the Millbridge Speedway. Horsepower and aerodynamics come into play a lot on the big track, but tonight, check it out. They're on the small track, the little track here, the SKE Speedway. Should be a lot of fun. A lot of circular grooves, you could say, being used here tonight. The karts are going to come right up to the wall. They're not even going to get straight, maybe for a split second, and then they're going to dive down into this corner. Everyone's going to be looking for the bottom as they come off, but they're going to be going uphill as they go onto the front straightaway, right to the start-finish line. And going down into turn 1 is our man that's going to be joining us here tonight, Tony Stevens. Tony?
Thanks, Derek, and the course of about 3 strides. I've just walked the entire front straightaway here at the SKE Speedway at Millbridge. Like you said, very, very short, very, very small. The biggest challenge for these drivers is going to be the transitions. While this track may look symmetrical, it is completely different. You go uphill out of turns 3 and 4, and before you can blink, you're turning right back down the hill here into turns 1 and 2. A lot of drivers have said already, if you get just 2 or 3 inches out of the groove here in turn number 1, you're going to go sliding up into the plastic barriers here and possibly even the wood. So hitting your marks could be very, very important, but there's a lot of passing opportunities here because of that. You swing out so wide, you open the door on the bottom of the racetrack that somebody can swoop right below you, right below that white line, get something beneath you, and then try to muscle you up out of the groove off of turn number 2. And that is how a lot of guys are going to be stealing positions here tonight in the 30 and 40 lap features for the Busch Series and the DNQ Karting Series.
Well, as we see the peasant drivers getting ready to go for the Busch Series, this race sets the chase for the Busch Series. The top 8 in points, including winners. Josh Heidkamp has not been here since the first race. He's in the chase. This is going to set the field, and with a large field like we have here tonight, we're looking at somebody that could steal a chase spot.
Yeah, I mean, we know the guys like Andy Hunter are going to run up front as long as they don't cheat this time. You know, they need to get their shit together. But, you know, my favorite for tonight, John Jarrell. This tight track is going to produce a lot of bumping and banging, and I think the leaders could take themselves out, and John Jarrell is going to be the guy right there to take the win.
John Jarrell, another favorite of the DNQ Busch Series, already in the chase, wants to get a spot. My pick is Brian Mullis tonight. He's somebody who runs a lot on dirt, and he is first-time starter here. If he has a good finish, I see him transferring into the chase.
Yeah, I think so too, Bob.
It should be a very exciting race. Let's send it down to Tim Bruschi for a tech analysis. Tim, what do you got down there? Well, thanks, guys, and welcome to the Tech Center, where I'm going to show you guys some shit that's going on today that none of you guys are aware of. First thing is first, welcome to the SKE Short Track, a track that we have been waiting to run on for a very long time. Thank you, Jeremy, for getting it ready and for us getting our shit together here to race. First line of business, let's talk about the gearing. Down here is the gears, rear gear and driver gear. Now, what we're going to talk about here today, the one thing you're going to want here is you're going to want that drive off. So let's go ahead and get this in here real quick. And what we want to do, okay, is get this driver as low as possible and get this rear gear as close as possible as you can to what's going to turn the RPM right. Now, you may be asking me a question, Tim, you're a smart motherfucker. How do we know what gear we need in this thing? The one thing we need to know right here to get this gear right is right here on this Micron 4 tack. Micron 4 tack, right here. This is going to go ahead and tell us everything that we need to know. Okay, you need to know what RPM you want to turn. You turn this sumbitch on right here. This is like $300 right here. You look at it, you hit your memory button, and it tells you everything you need to know. What RPM we run? 66.92. We got to change that damn gear right there. That's how you're going to know what you need to turn on this racetrack here today. Another thing right here, these tires right here. This is a big part of this race. These sumbitches right here are too hard. What you want to do is you want to get this as solid as possible. If I stick my finger in it, if I stick my finger in this thing right here, I want it as soft as I can get it. You know what I'm saying? If you stick it in here and it's hard, you don't want to do nothing with that. You want nothing with that. Another thing here today that I'm looking at is these new pit stops the series is implemented for this race. The fastest guy off pit road is going to be the one that's going to be up front with 10 to go. I want to get my driver in the best possible spot I can with 10 to go. So the sumbitch that comes down here and hits 3 lug nuts faster than a dirty girl at Bar Charlotte is going to be out front. And that's what you want at the end of this race, guys. Well, Alan, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the DNQ Busch Series. In row 1, it's Dirt Dog Dabbs and Andy Hunter teammates.
Row number 2, Derek Nunley and Steve Nevison.
Row 3 has Richie Stone and John Jarrell, your favorite to win tonight, Alan.
Yep, he's going to the front. Row number 4, Jordan Rummage and Brian Mullis.
Row 5, Luis Delgado and Brandon Keene starting at the end of the Peasant Series field. Well, let's take a look at the race information. 30 laps for the DNQ Comp Caution with 5 laps to go. 6.5 horsepower Predator engines on a mandated gear and Maxxis EL tires. Carts must weigh 390. Getting ready to take the green. Who do you got here for the green flag? I know you got John Jarrell. But looking at this field right here, looks like a shit show already.
Hunter up in front already. Here we go. It's 1-2, but they're still too wide, and they're wrecking in first lap.
Steve Nevison, and Steve Nevison said right away, oh, we've got a caution. It's Luis Delgado, Bulldozer Delgado.
Jesus, he's bringing front tires off the ground. Here we are for the restart. Andy Hunter leading down Brian Mullis, and then we got his teammate Dirt Dog
Dirty Dabs is leading, Hunter in second, and great aerial coverage brought to us by Scott Brotherton.
I have no idea who these fucking peasants are, like they actually matter.
Scott Brotherton here with some great aerial coverage for the series race. Let's go to the backstretch cam. Oh, hits the wall 4 wide.
Jeez, and they're turned around. You know these peasants couldn't handle more than 2 wide.
Derek Nunley got shit canned there, getting ready to go. Green flag back underway. And it looks like Dirty Dabs back in the lead. Hunter in second, but Jordan Rummage challenging Hunter. And can we see Rummage actually be a challenger here for this race? We've got to caution out Derek Nunley once again has wrecked. He won the last race. Let's look at that again. It's a replay. Straight out of talent. Right in the fucking fence.
Ooh, I think something broke in the steering there, Bob, because that thing just went straight.
Well, under caution here, getting ready back to go green, and Dirty Dabs still in the lead. Rummage in second, Andy Hunter. Jordan Rummage is kind of like the meat in the sandwich here, isn't he?
Yeah, we got Steve Nyson coming up challenging Andy Hunter there for third, but he's get shit canned by my favorite, John Jennings.
That's Richie Stone right there in the blue cart, Steve Nivison in the yellow. Oh, and Rummage shit cans Dabs. He don't give a fuck. Let's look at that again in the instant replay. Get the fuck out of the way, bitch.
That's what it looked like there. He wasn't even close, but just turned him.
That looked like a Cup Series dump. He dumped and went to the other side. Green flag, we're back on the way. We'll see if Andy Hunter's got an answer for that as his team. Oh, yeah, get out the way, bitch. Move. Oh.
Got a little airtime there.
Rummage shuffled back to fourth place, and your favorite John Jarrell up there to third as the rest of the field comes down here. 10 carts for the Busch Series, a new record for the series.
Bob, I told you John Jennings was coming to the front, and the leaders were going to wreck each other, and they have twice already.
Position by attrition seems to be the series rule, and you know what? It's not very surprising when you look at the talent in this field.
Andy Hunter, who is that? Dirt Dog, Andy Hunter, one of them motherfuckers. They're running away with it right now, but these guys back in the field, I would expect another caution here in a minute.
That is Steve Nivison out inside of John Jarrell, your favorite to win, and Mullis right there, too. Mullis has won plenty of dirt races in his day, even in some bigger shit.
Why is he running like a bag of fuck right now?
That is a very good question. And Steve Nivison right there running no side panels to say, oh, Dabs, you know driving fuck. Yeah. Caution's out for Dirty Dabs once again. And aerial coverage brought to you by Scott Brotherton Images. Very badass footage.
Yeah, it's great to have him here. Great to have the blimp up in the race here at SKE Speedway to cover all this exciting action.
Green flag, we're back underway. Andy Hunter, Jordan Rummage, and Steve Nivison saving the weight without those side panels, running third right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see Dirt Dog, who gets spun again. And, he was at an aero disadvantage, and you saw that right front. His door was tweaked out a little bit, and he doesn't have the downforce that he once had.
Well, it looks like Hunter, Rummage, and Nivison have picked the right shock package for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, as flat and bumpy as it is here, you got to have your shit right.
Getting into one, you'd expect more compression in the right front shock. Looks like that's what Andy Hunter has tonight as we're looking for a battle for fourth. Let's go on board with John Jarrell, who's battling for fourth with Brian Mullis.
Yeah, but he's stuck on the outside, Bob, and once you get on the outside, you get up in that little rolled up Red Bull, you get up in that dust, not quite to the cushion, and as soon as you hit that, you're going to the back.
We see some of these drivers riding all the way up to, and we've got another caution. Looks like Dozer Delgado over here getting his steering wheel hump on.
Send that motherfucker to the garage. He needs to park that.
Green flag, we're back underway. I don't know how you spin out by yourself with with 6.5 horsepower, but they still do. Looks like Hunter out front. I don't think he's going to be challenged. Rummage seems content to run in second.
It seems like it. And John Jennings up there, it's just Andy Hunter. He's too smooth. His shock package is too good. His tires are right. Everybody has the same motor, but it looks like he has more power.
He's a PGMF. No doubt about it.
I wouldn't say that. Have you seen that motherfucker's beard?
Looks like Delgado running towards the back. Dirty Dabs trying to make his way through the field, but you get no more. Oh! Steve Nivison was running third, and he run out of fucking talent.
Yeah, he ran right in the infield there. Missed the apex a little bit.
Richie Stone works with him there at Joe Gibbs Racing, but looking at this first and second, Hunter and Jordan Rummage first and second. And we've got Rummage to the inside, takes the lead.
Ooh, that was a good move there. He let Andy Hunter run a little bit wide and just went straight to the inside. True short track move.
Looks like it was short-lived as Hunter gets the lead back from Jordan Rummage. Rummage ran a Cup Series race, and we thought he had a concussion. He hit the wall so hard at the Miltona 50, if you don't remember. Looks like he's overcome his fear, and he went down to the Busch Series with a little bit less power.
Yeah, I think he pushed out, and he just let the big dogs have the big horsepower, and he's running like a peasant like he is now.
Well, he's sticking with Andy Hunter, and with these Maxxis EL tires, it's very hard to gain grip. We see these guys sliding a little bit more. Some go straight up to the wall down the backstretch. Others don't. What is your preferred line on this racetrack?
I think with no power and no grip, you need to take the bottom. You just need to bottom feed the shit out of it. Just take the shortest pass around this racetrack.
Well, looks like the caution is out. The competition caution. 5 laps to go. Hunter's out front. Does Rummage have anything for him? We're getting ready to find out. Green flag. We are underway, and he's had a shitty fucking restart.
Andy Hunter got a good jump there. All he's got to do is keep Jordan Rummage in his rear view mirror. He's going to take the lead. Here we go. 2 to go. 2 to go.
Stone inside of John Jarrell. He will move himself up to the 4th position as the rest of the field seems to be scissoring for positions. I don't think it's going to change much.
Here comes the white flag. This is the end. 1 more lap to go. I don't think the battle is for 3rd.
2 to go, actually, and looks like Hunter now is going to take the white flag. Last lap out here for Andy Hunter. And Hunter comes around 3 and 4. Andy Hunter is going to move on to the chase with a win. Great job by Andy Hunter. What a awful race we just saw there. Andy Hunter, the best of the worst, though. He's going to go ahead and transfer to the chase.
You know, Bob, I should have went with my gut on that one. I was thinking Andy Hunter, but I went with John Jarrell instead. Andy Hunter gets the win again. I mean, if he gets through Tech this time, it was his race to win.
Well, let's go down to Victory Lane, where we will talk with the winner, Andy Hunter.
DNQ Busch Series Victory Lane, Andy Hunter takes the win here at the SKE Speedway at Millbridge. And Andy, I know we talked to you just a little bit earlier this afternoon. You said you thought it was going to be you and maybe your teammate you had to fend with for the win. How does it feel to be the first winner here at the SKE Speedway at Millbridge?
Yeah, it feels good. I seen he got taken out pretty early and put in the back and never could catch back up. But, yeah, you know, I was prettier and faster than 67 than Nunley, so it's like I told you after the heat race. But he did good. He hadn't been on the kart in a long time, but I just tried to hold it on the bottom and hold it best I could. It was real slick out there.
How important was track position? Was it simply a matter of staying in front of everybody and trying to hit your marks, or was it a little bit more handling, horsepower, and actually could you pass without using the bumper?
No, you could not. You couldn't pass it out. You had to pretty much pass going into 3 and dive up under them and pretty much slam the door on them. That was about the only way you could get it done.
Well, Andy Hunter is going to crack himself a cold Busch Ice and enjoy the spoils of victory here in DNQ Busch Series Victory Lane.
Well, DNQ Cup Series getting ready to go, prepping those Vegas, Alan.
There you see one of the top crew chiefs in the Cup Series, Chris Williams, getting to work. You see a peasant, Timmy Nye, fluffing and buffing his seat. Another peasant, Eddie DeHaan, pushing his own shit up because he has no crew.
Ryan Flores on the grid. We'll be right back after these messages.
Presenting the cold, refreshing mountains of Busch. The mountain, symbol of all the good natural ingredients that go into Busch. A symbol of all the good natural taste that pours out. Always smooth and natural and refreshing. Busch after bush after bush. So don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains.
Well, it's getting to go time here for the Cup Series race. The whole reason we're here is you see behind us drivers getting ready to go. Our eyes are on Matt Holzbauer tonight, aren't they?
I don't know if you saw his guns in that interview, but man, he seemed confident, and he's not a guy I would mess with.
He's got that badass Pac-Man shirt on for tonight's race. And another spoof mixed into this race here tonight, pit stops, live pit stops with 10 laps to go. How you come out of the pit stops is how you line up on the racetrack. Live stop. I mean, you've got 10 laps. If you have a shitty stop, you've got 10 laps to get to the front.
10 laps is going to click off fast here. So if your pit crew sucks, you're going to be starting in the back, and you're really going to have to get on the fried chicken, the watermelon, the grape soda to get your way to the front. Matt Holzbauer is going to need that muscle.
So, if you had to pick a driver for tonight's race, you got a lot of factors here. A really short track, pit stops, and a 10-lap dash at the end, how you come out of pit road. Who's your pick for tonight?
Somebody that's got a lot of experience on short tracks like this. You know he's a dirty driver. You know he can get it done. Skip Flores is going to be my driver tonight, Bob.
That's a good pick. I would have to pick LJ McCleary. He's been running real strong as of late. He is due for a win. It's only a matter of time before he gets it. Well, talking about all the drivers, let's go down and look at all of the drivers here in our starting lineup. Cup Series getting ready to roll off, but while they roll, let's take a look at the starting lineup. All 12 carts for tonight's event. Starting in row number 1, it's Matt Holzbauer and Tim Nye, New Egypt, New Jersey, and Lancaster, New York.
Row number 2, Eddie DeHaan from East Islip, New York, and Brad Buskirk from Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Nathan Briggs and LJ McCleary make up row number 3.
Row number 4, David Markham and Matt Custer.
Row 5 sees Caitlin Bench in her first start, and Glendale, Arizona's Mike Too-Tall-Medill.
Row number 7, Ryan Flores, a New Jersey native, and Brad Poteet from Concord, North Carolina.
Well, this field rolling down here, Ryan Flores had to go to the back, and he is one of our in-car cameras for tonight. Probably one of the best we'll see for footage.
Oh, I can't wait to see his in-car, because starting from the back, you know he's going to be working his way up to the front, using every trick in the book he's got.
And next onboard camera is Eddie DeHaan Jr., and that's a SJ cam, very high graphic.
The brute essence of man cam coming from mid-pack. That's going to be exciting as well.
Well, we're getting ready to go green on the first ever race in the SKE Speedway. Cannot wait for this race. I'm so glad we got this race in.
And here we go. They're going green. Matt Holzbauer on the point. Timmy Nye chooses the outside. They go into one. It's side by side, and we got a crash already.
Nathan Briggs and Caitlin Bench take a spin, but we stay under green. And Nye, and now in the DNQ Cup Series, do not go a lap down. So these carts are still racing, but they're a lap down till the caution comes out. And there's the caution, and this time it's for Matt Custer.
Yeah, that's a shame. He was doing pretty good there. We don't really know what the problem is. It looks like it's engine related. That might be terminal.
Ryan Flores doing a pit stop. Not sure what it's for. It might be for some adjustments.
Yeah, he was starting in the back. Maybe he needs a little bit. Maybe he needs a little bit of wedge tire pressure. Oh, it looks like the chain was thrown on Matt Custer's machine.
Well, he's back going, and hopefully he can stay going the rest of the race. You know, once that chain blows up, it's pretty hard to keep it back on the engine.
Yeah, they make these things called chain guards that really help that. Maybe Matt Custer should invest in one.
Green flag back underway. On board, Eddie DeHaan Jr. running 4th, and looks like he is sinking like a rock. Holzbauer making the pass on him.
Holzbauer giving him the old right rear bump. You see Timmy Nye stretching his legs right there. Brad Buskirk taking the way outside line, getting passed by LJ McCleary, and Matt Holzbauer diving on in there.
LJ McCleary has a huge wheel. That just changed the steering ratio. It's like having a 6-to-1 box in a car.
Yeah, that sucker is just steering that thing right there. You see Michael Too-Tall-Medill and Miss Gastonia going at it for 6th place.
7th, Eddie DeHaan Jr. Oh, and she spins, and looks like DeHaan finishes her off. What a break for her. Let's take a look at that again in the instant replay. The Coyote Motorsports instant replay, and looks like she was sideways, and DeHaan finished her off.
Yeah, you know, sometimes with these big horsepower motors, you stand in the gas, and if you got a lot of stagger, you can spin it right around. It looks like right there, she got in the gas a little bit too hard, and DeHaan right on the bumper like he should have been, just gets into her left rear and kills her.
Restart going underway. Tim Nye in the lead. Matt Holzbauer in 2nd. McCleary 3rd. Oh, and Brad Poteet got rooted out of the damn way there. Tim Nye still in the lead. Buskirk already up to 3rd. I know he started 4th, but he's having a good run so far.
Yeah, he's sticking with the guys up front. You know, he finished 2nd in his heat race, but the guys in front of him were the winners. I mean, you see him right there gaining on Holzbauer.
Good to see him win the last race. I know it was a big weight lifted off his shoulders to win the Kart City Performance race when he had the engine built for him. And he's inside. Holzbauer makes his move up to 2nd. Poteet there. Lap car staying up top.
Yeah, it looks like he's just got too much rake built into that thing. You know, it looks like he needs to lower the right front a little bit, get down on that stop a little bit sooner. They might have the sim fucked up.
On board Ryan Flores, and he is in the midst of a very big battle with McCleary, Holzbauer, and himself, and he's got a good car. He's come from the back already, and caution is out on the speedway, and this time it was Brad Poteet. Looks like he should go back to moonshining in the mountains. Let's look again at the replay.
Yeah, here you see him just getting lapped up in the marbles. You know, he gets up in the loose stuff and just loses it on its own.
Tough break for him, and we're back underway. Green flag and Buskirk up to second. McCleary third. These are, you know what, Brad Buskirk, and we've got another caution. It's Poteet again. Looks like, I think it was chain related. I just saw a chain on the backstretch.
Jesus, I think we need to institute a 3 caution rule or something. Here we go, under green again. Timmy Nye leading Buskirk to the point.
Buskirk, what we were talking about before, has impressed us tremendously with his runs over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's staying right there with the one and only Timmy Nye. Holzbauer, who's running much better this weekend. You know, this is going to be a great battle, first, second, third. And if Skip Flores can make it up there, he won his heat, was 1 pound light. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. You know, he's going to be right there for the win as well.
Flores is a wheeling motherfucker, all the way up to 5th. Had to start dead last in this race. I expect a lot from him, but while you're at home, let's go ahead and crank it up. Well, hope you enjoyed Crank It Up. Skip Flores making that move to the front, but let's go down to Tim Brewski, who's down there, has some late race updates. Tim?
Well, I'm down here, and Tim Nye said his shit is right, and he radioed in not too long ago and said to the guys, as long as we have a good pit stop, I think we've got this race in the bag, guys. I don't think our shit is that bad, and we can win this race tonight. Another driver we're looking at right here is Bradley Buskirk, having a great run, started 4th, currently 2nd, won the last race. He said his car right now is just lacking some forward bite. If they can get that shit right, they'd be good to go. Back to you guys.
Well, good to see that, Tim. And looks like, I mean, Brad is really impressing us here and tonight. And caution is out. That is our competition caution. We've got 10 laps to go. Pit stop time.
Oh, this is going to be exciting, Bob. So everybody's going to line up behind the pace car right now. So you see them getting single file. Pace car is going to lead them down pit road, and as soon as they get to their box, it's game on. So as fast as they can hit them lug nuts and get back to the start finish line, that's how they're going to restart. This is when the big bucks are getting made.
We have seen this, never seen this before in the DNQ karting scene. We see it all the time, but these drivers have to get to their box right, hit their spots. Pit road speed is dictated by the razor, and these guys are down live on pit road. Let's go down to cover some pit stops. Looks like LJ McCleary's shit is on top of it already.
Wow, that is fast, Bob. You can see he's got the jack. He's got the pit crew. Eddie DeHaan making some crazy strategy right there. You see Brandon GRP changing Timmy Nye's tire very, very slowly. And Skip Flores, who came in 4th, who's going out 2nd. There you see LJ McCreary, who's going out in the lead.
They clearly did their homework. They were the first cart out, and looks like Ryan Flores is out of pit road already. Man, this is a great part of this race. What a great institution by the series.
Wow, this is a much slower pit stop. There you see Buskirk. There you see Miss Gastonia going out. Timmy Nye way late on that stop.
Tim Nye came out first. Looks like he's going to go out 7th. What a shit stop. Nathan Briggs coming out. Eddie DeHaan Jr., let some kids pit his cart. They're like 12-year-old boys. They did a great job for him, but unfortunately he's going to start at the back. Looking at this pit stop right here.
Yeah, but you know what? He was not the biggest loser because he came in the back, so he didn't really lose any positions. People like Timmy Nye, they were the big losers on this stop because he came in leading and went out dead fucking last.
Driver Randall Livengood, who ran in this series, is helping out Eddie Hunt Jr. tonight. I hope we get to see him back in a kart.
Yeah, I'd really like to see him. I'd really like to see the Kuhn brothers come back. You know, I know they've had some sponsorship trials and tribulations here lately, but I've heard from the Kuhn brothers that they might have another one-race sponsorship lined up for this next upcoming race.
Eddie Hunt Jr. Talking it over with his crew. He's last anyway. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as the right rear's tight, he's sent off. But let's go ahead and look at the winners and losers on pit road. LJ McCleary clearly a winner. Also Matt Holzbauer +3.
Yeah, considering his old lady changed that tire, she did a hell of a job.
Big losers on this stop. Brad Buskirk -3 and Tim Nye -6.
Wow, yeah, that's a big, big hit for Timmy Nye. I mean, we know he's a dirty racer. We know he can come from the back. He's done it before. But you only have 10 laps. That's a very short time with a 5-second lap.
Let's send it down to Brewski.
Well, guys, down here in the tech center, what a pit stop LJ McCreary had down there. Got his team out front. He had about 7 or 8 guys down there. Another one that I'm impressed with is Matt Holzbauer. Was him and his wife changed a tire, and he came out pretty good there on pit road. The one I'm very disappointed is Tim Nye. I thought they had their shit together, but when it comes to pit stops, they ain't got shit going on. Another one there, Eddie Hunt Jr. starting last. Not a very good pit stop for him either. I really expect Tim Nye to come through this field, though. He's a bad son of a bitch, and take this win, but it ain't going to be easy for him, guys. We'll see what happens here the rest of this race.
Thanks, Tim, and here we go. Can LJ McCleary hold off Matt Holzbauer, Ryan Flores, and Too Tall Medill? Green flag, we're back in the air. We're getting ready to know, and can Tim Nye come from the back? Oh! Buskirk's got his hand up. I think he's on the splitter with low air.
Oh, I don't know. Something happened. He just went straight. He got down to turn 1, and it went straight.
Nye working his way all the way up to 4th already. You know what? He started 7th. He's up to 4th. Will he make it in time?
There we see 2 guys that we did not expect to be running up front. Matt Holzbauer and LJ McCreary. They're both fighting for the lead. There you see 2 rivals. And we got a caution. Too Tall Medill.
Mike Short, Dick Medill, no matter how tall he is short penis. Let's look at that. It's a replay. It looks like he lost it in the marbles.
Yeah, no surprise. All by himself there. That's no driving motherfucker.
That is not the first time he's lost it by himself. Anyway, Buskirk rejoins the action. He went down and talked to his crew chief. He said he was on the splitter, so they made some air pressure adjustments.
Yeah, there you can see it. They're cutting it really, really close. That splitter looked like it was almost on the ground. And we're back to green. Matt Holzbauer leads them back to the point.
Tim Nye already back up to 4th. Him and Flores, we know they've got some rivalry. Let's see what happens. Flores makes a move inside of McCleary. Ryan Flores to 2nd place, and Tim Nye follows. Oh, he's inside of him. Flores gets moved up to the loose stuff. He's sideways. DeHunt hits him.
Oh, DeHunt with a big, big hit from Flores.
Caution is out on the speedway. What a shot. Stick with it. They're going to Coyote Motorsports instant replay. Flores up on the loose stuff.
That was hard as shit right there.
Let's go on board Eddie Hunt Jr. and listen to the audio.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, on board with Ryan Flores. You get to watch these two meet each other.
That was the Trevor Bayne right line.
Yes, and looks like Flores not happy with Nye. Brake checking the shit out of him. These two have been into it before. Not a surprise into it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. You know, Timmy Nye gave him a shot there. He kind of deserved it, but I'm surprised he didn't let him know he was number 1.
Well, we're getting ready to go. 9-second. Can Holzbauer hold him off? Green flag. We're back underway. Can Holzbauer hold off Tim Nye? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he gave him the inside. He really fucked up. LJ McCreary following him through. Miss Gastonia and Brad Buskirk right there for the inside of Holzbauer.
Eddie DeHaan Jr., besides how tight he has been, is actually having a fairly decent run inside of Holzbauer up to 5th.
Yeah, they kind of let Timmy Nye get away there. LJ McCreary, you know, with the best run of his career, I don't think he's going to have anything for him.
Coming down to the white flag for Tim Nye. This could be his 5th win of the year. Doesn't look like anybody's just going to stop him. Coming out of turn 4, Tim Nye takes home the first ever win on the SKE Speedway. Unbelievable race we just saw here, Alan. And Tim Nye takes home the win, but Matt Holzbauer had the lead in the last couple laps, and he finished 5th, and he had the lead with like 5 laps to go.
Barely got the win this time. Typically, we see Timmy Nye use that motor to stretch out his lead. Here on the short track, he was bumping and banging with the best of them, and he had to use that northern muscle to get by there. I think he's got somebody's coming for him now.
Skip Flores made heavy contact with Skip, actually, on the side, and Skip got into Eddie Hunt Jr. Do we see Skip Flores being a problem for Tim Nye in the field? I mean, we've got the fair race, which he's going to show up to, and then we've got the other SKE short track race in October.
Don't forget the final championship race either, because he might just show up just to wreck Timmy Nye at that race.
Could this be a problem for Tim Nye as we go to the championship with Skip?
I think so. Those two guys, they've got strong personalities, and they ain't taking shit from anybody. I could see them getting in the ring together.
We've seen these two go out of the field for their fairgrounds. Now we see them in the DNQ karting series. Let's go down to Skip Flores. This should be a very interesting interview. Derek?
Well, Ryan Flores was DQ'd in the heat race, had to start in the rear of the main event, came through the field, and actually challenged for the win, but there was some controversy out there between you and Tim Nye. You got into each other. Can you tell us your side of it?
Yeah, Timmy was light after the heat too, but I guess you get a 5-pound allowance. We were 6 pounds light, so that's too bad. But yeah, Tim had the fastest car all night. I guess his guys didn't do so hot on pit road. We were a little free, and then on the change we got a little bit tight, but we were still racing well. And I passed the 90, dived on 92 the lap before and made it by, but this is what Tim had to do with his brand new Triton and all his brand new stuff he's got here in his 15 sets of tires, and we come with old Nemesis and a borrowed set of tires. But I guess you need talent too to go along with that brand new car and all that money.
He did have some pretty strong words for you down there in Victory Lane. He wasn't too happy with all the bumper tag that was going on out there. Can you give us your side of it?
Yeah, I mean, he could say what he wants. I tried to give him a flat under caution, but his wheel and his sprocket ain't all bent up like mine is, so he got me better, I guess. At least mine was under caution, his was under green. I'll take a cheap shot, I don't care.
Well, Ryan Flores seems to be taking it pretty well. Unfortunately, he didn't finish where he wanted to tonight, but of course it's really great to have him back in the DNQ karting series.
Well, Flores pissed off, but while we're at it, let's take a look at the DNQ Busch Series final results. Andy Hunter takes home the win with Jordan Rummage. Very close. Richie Stone, his first ever start, finishes 3rd, and he qualifies for the chase.
Yeah, Brian Mullis expecting a better finish than 4th place, but my driver there, Daryl Jarrell, fucking 5th place.
Steve Nivison, Delgado, Dabbs, Keene, and Nunley round out your top 10. Let's look at the Cup Series results. The name I'm looking at right there, LJ McCleary and Caitlin Benge, 2nd and 4th.
Yeah, great finishes for them. Matt Holzbauer, a 5th, should have probably had something a little bit better than that. Eddie DeHaan somehow up to 6th. Briggs, Too Tall Medill. Ryan Flores, a disappointing 9th place finish. And Cole Custer flapping around in 10th.
Flores had a flat left rear tire, had to come in, make a pit stop. Custer ripped the nose off his shit in the heat race. Tough break for him. Let's go down to our 2nd place finisher.
Lost in all the chaos that were the last few laps here at the SKE Speedway at Millbridge was LJ McCleary. And LJ, somehow you came out to finish 2nd through all that. What did you see from your seat?
We're trying to catch Tim there at the end. Just about 4 more laps. I believe we could have had him. Cart was definitely awesome with that right rear. And the pit stops that's what got us up there, hands down. I believe we came in 3rd and went out 1st and just by a mile. So it was pit stop was a big key factor in that. So
before the race, I looked back on pit road at all the different engineering schemes, all the different ideas teams had to try to maximize their time, or I guess it would be minimize their time on pit road. You guys had custom welded jacks, a signboard, the whole deal. What was the engineering behind that? What did you guys have that got you out so fast?
I just sat down and think about it, what could make us faster and what we could do with the little amount of budget we have and stuff like that. Seconds matter big in racing, so it paid off.
Seconds mattered really big for LJ McCleary. He ended up in the 2nd spot here tonight.
Well, what a great run for LJ McCleary. P2, very close to the win.
LJ McCreary, best race of his career. It was really good to see him finally get that finish he deserved and a blistering fast pit stop. That was amazing.
No shit. I mean, that is probably one of the fastest pit stops we've seen in general. Yeah. They practiced. They had they had their shit together in the end of the day.
And I don't even think he hired a Cup pit crew, but maybe that pit crew should go to Cup.
Absolutely. Well, he's won 5 races in his career, the 3rd one of this season. Let's go down to victory lane with Tim Nye.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, crawling out of the number 42 machine. He's won on the big track, and now he's won on the small track. Tim Nye, the science guy, comes from deep in the field after trouble on pit road. You come back to win tonight. Tell us what happened out there on pit road.
I go in the pits. I'm in first place. I come out and I'm in like 6th. Days of Thunder style. Yeah, part of it was I was so focused on keeping the motor running that I forgot to hold the brake that well, and the tire spun, and I think we had a tire hung up. But we come back pretty good, and I'm just happy. And Flores has all kinds of cheating ways when he comes out here, just like he buys his $28,000 TQ midget. And I wasn't going to put up with him either, from his cheating lug nuts to he was light across the scales. So, you know, he gets what he gets. So, and I don't care.
Well, that was going to be the next question. What was going on out there between you and Flores? Because we saw you give him a bump from behind under caution laps.
Yeah, because I got inside of him and he wants to come down here after I passed him clean and hit me in the left side door. But he's known to do that. He's like another, in my opinion, he's worse than Ridenhour. But whatever, I don't give a shit.
Well, some strong words out there for Ryan Flores, but the number 42 of Tim Nye ends up in victory lane tonight.
Great win for Tim Nye, but let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings, and let's start off with the DNQ Busch Grand National Chase. Looks like Josh Heidenkamp, Nunley, Hunter, Rummage, Gerald Stone, DeHunt, and Mullis, and we know Eddie DeHunt's not running this deal, so that's a free spot.
Yeah, I mean, that leaves somebody else lucky to make that spot. Next race, you're down to 4. Half of those guys are getting shit canned. That's a big number.
That will start before the last race, and here we go. Let's look at the Cup Series points. Buskirk, -7, has got a pretty good hold on the Rookie Championship.
Oh, yeah. It looks like he's going to run away with the Rookie Championship, but he might get the overall championship. Corey Ingelston, we know, isn't going to make it a couple more races. Sitting there in 3rd place, he's going to drop like a rock. LJ McCleary up there. David Markham, Dan Ridenhour, Jason Eford, DeHaan. They're all right there.
Well, what a great race we had tonight. Great aerial coverage by Scott Brotherton. Excellent coverage for this race, and a lot of action tonight.
Yeah, this was one of the... I'm very, very glad that we popped this cherry.
Well, we're going to run a couple more races on it tonight. Tim Nye was successful in his attempt tonight. Good win for him, and we'll see you in August.
This has been a production of the DNQ Karting Series. Any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this race without the express written consent of the DNQ Karting Series is prohibited. The DNQ Karting Series would like to thank its fans for their continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.